Okay. Why is your reference list in the same document as your assignment? It shouldn't be. So what I'm going to do is select my whole reference list like this, up to references, and I'm going to take it out of here. I'm going to cut it because I don't want it in there. I'm going to make a new document, so I go Control N, N for new, and I get a blank document, and now I'm going to paste my referencing in there. Now I am going to alphabetize my referencing. This is why I have it separate, because if I don't have it separate and I'm not thinking clearly, I'm going to end up alphabetizing my entire document. Not a good idea to have all your paragraphs in alphabetical order. Now I'm going to leave my show hide on because I want to check for certain things. As I scroll down, I see enter. That's at the end of a whole reference. That's good. I go to Marquee and I think, oh dear, where's the URL? So something's wrong. My reference has been separated from its URL. I've got to get that URL back up to there. I'm going to do that in a very easy way. I notice there's no space after the full stop, so I go space, and now I want to pull the HTTP up, so I tap delete, and it pulls the HTTP up, the URL, in other words, right next to my reference. If I don't do that, when I alphabetize, that HTTP is going to go under H. All right, so here that looks fine, this one looks fine, but this one doesn't. Can you see how the URL has once again been separated from the reference? Space delete. People always remember to do that. Okay. Now I'm going to alphabetize this lot, and I go to my sorting tool right at the top of my screen over here in the paragraph group. I click on A to Z, and it says, do you want to alphabetize this by paragraphs? Yes, please. Do you want to alphabetize it by text? Yep, doesn't matter. Just leave it a text. Ascending from A to Z, yes. Do you have a header row? Yes. It's references. So I have to put in a header row references. And we call it a heading, but here for some reason or other they've called it a header. And I go, okay. And it's alphabetized it for me. Yay, everything's looking pretty good. And I do a bit of a scan and I go, what's that? That's a blank enter. Microsoft doesn't know what's in there. It's blank. It's nothing, so it sticks it at the top. So guess what I should have done? I should have deleted that. And now I have a look here and I go, why is Mr. Coffee at the top of the reference list when it really should be under M for Mr.? And I noticed that it's got a character in front of it, quotation marks. Microsoft doesn't know what to do with quotation marks, so anything like that, it puts right at the top of the list, you know, the alphabetical list. So I'm going to delete that, and that space for that matter, and I am now going to write on a Post-it note, replace the double quotation marks on 5 Post-it notes. I'm going to put one on my back, one on my forehead, one on the fridge, one hanging from an earring, one behind the loo door. All right. Am I going to remind myself to put this back? Absolutely. I go back to sorting it again. Paragraphs, text, ascending, header row again, yes, and okay. And there you go. It has moved Mr. Coffee to where it should be. All right, everything looking really good at this stage. They're all in alphabetical order. And I think, right, I'm going to save this as, and I'm going to call it references. And save it. Okay. Alrighty-o, now it's nearly ready to go back into my Word document, and people, you're not going to copy paste. So how are you going to get it back there? I'm going to close it. And now I'm going to go to the very end over here where it says conclusion, and references always start on a new page. So I go Control Enter, or I can go insert and page break if I like, but Control Enter does it really nicely for me. And what I'm going to do now is go to insert. Insert, go to the far right hand side of your screen, click on objects down arrow, do not click on object, click on the down arrow, and here it says text from file. So I go text from file, and I'm very lucky here. It's actually gone right to my folder, whoopie-doo, and there is my file called references. I double click on that, and there my references appear in my assignment. Why did I not go copy paste? Because let me just copy something for you.
Your format might change.
Exactly. Exactly. Because if you have a look at paste, you'll see that you've got 3 buttons to choose from. Which one are you going to choose? If you choose this one, it'll paste it like it was in its original form. That's why when you paste from the web, you think, gee, what's gone wrong with all my formatting? If you click on this, it'll merge it with the formatting of your document, so that's probably a better option. Or you can go text only. But if I click text only, I'm going to find that a lot of my italics and everything like that's missing. So it gets complicated. So what I'm going to do is simply use that interesting command that says insert, down arrow next to object, text from file, get the file and plonk it in. And everybody's happy. All right. So why did I want this here? Because I want to show you how to create another style. I know that all referencing should always be in a hanging indent for APA. It should also be in double line spacing and not have any spacing between it because of the hanging indent. Can you go Control T? Absolutely. But maybe you want to use this template later. So I'm going to create for myself a little style, and I'm going to call it APA referencing. Okay. And what do I want? It can be based on the normal, but what do I want to follow that style? Well, I want APA referencing to follow that style. Why? Because when I press enter after one reference, I'm going to put in another reference. I want it to be formatted exactly the same way. So that's what that means, style for the following paragraph. Check that it says Times New Roman 12, that it's on the left and that it's in double line spacing. So I need to do hanging indent. I am going to go to my paragraph dialog box. Okay. And I'm going to make that a hanging indent. Beautiful. It set it in for me. What does my spacing afterwards look like? It's got to be set to 0. I don't want that gap between each reference because I'm going to have a hanging indent. Let's have a looky-see. There it is. So now I can click on here. There's my referencing style. Click on here. Click on the referencing style. I can go repeat with my favorite F4 button. Okay, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. Can you see this problem here? That reference is split over 2 pages. Ugly as. Okay. So what I've got to do is make sure that that does not split. So how can I do that? I can modify my style. I go back to my style and I go modify. And I go back to paragraph and I see what I can do with these breaks. You see it's broken over 2 pages and I want to keep all the lines of my referencing together. So that's what keep lines together means. Don't split my paragraph. Do not do this for your assignment. Otherwise, once again, you'll have them try and fit on a whole page, or you'll have gaps like this where they've decided to all go to the next page. So you don't want to do that to an ordinary paragraph. This is where you should want to do this. So I click on OK. Now watch Mr. Coffee, and it all appears on one page. Another thing now, I've gone to go and make myself a cup of tea, or I've gone for a little walk, and people are saying, what are all those post-it notes that you've got? And I go, that's right, I forgot to put my double quote marks back. And I put them back in. Now it's looking like a reference list. I do not have my URLs live. They are not live. I have to make them live. Select the entire URL and go right-click. The moment I do that, I can go to hyperlink and it's in the address line. Ignore all this, people. We're not worried about that. It's just a current folder that I'm in. But you can see that it's got all the URL in there. So I say, okay, now it's a URL. I select this one. Whoops, got to select the whole thing. And I'm going to do the same thing. Right click. Okay, one problem is that they all need to be black. So now I've made them all and they're nice and blue. So how can I make them black? Okay, I can select my entire document. Good idea. I might have some red text buried in there where I wanted to remind myself of something. So I can go Control A to select the entire document. And I can go along to Home and I can go black or automatic. And look what's happened here. This has not paid the slightest bit of attention to me. Why? Because I've clicked on it already. It's a devil of a thing. It will not go black. So what I do is I make it normal. It's gone black. And if I hover my mouse over it, it says it's a hyperlink. Why doesn't it look like a hyperlink? Because it's not underlined. Okay. So watch out if you visited them. They can be a little bit quirky. So the moment you hover the mouse over it, a cue card will tell you that it's a live link. And if it doesn't have an underline and it is black at that stage, you can simply underline it.